Fuel filler, easy fuel, capless fuel filler, standard on the Lariat. It is an option on the Tremor. Why? I do not understand why they are putting things that are standard on cheaper models and making them an option on the Tremor. Is there a physical reason why you cannot get an easy fuel, capless fuel filler on the Tremor? Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Dale and today I'm going to be comparing the F-150 Lariat versus the F-150 Tremor and which one offers the most value for money. So as always, you've likely watched the videos, you've read the reviews. I do something different here, which is value proposition, which one offers the most value for money and why. I'll run through each of the individual pieces of specification that are different. I will price them based on a typical three-year finance agreement, and we'll work out which one you should get, the Lariat or the Tremor. For those of you that are new, I used to work for a business equivalent to Kelley Blue Book in the US, and if you're in Europe, the business would have been Glass's Guide, and equivalent to that, a rival of one of those companies. Did this for many years, probably coming up on my 20th year of doing this. Did it every single day, comparing specs between manufacturers, pricing them out, and then discussing that with the manufacturer themselves. So let's get started. So what's going to happen is I'm going to look at the Lariat, and we can see it has a starting price of $63,260, and the F-150 Tremor is $64,815, which is a difference of $1,555. Now, from my investigation, looking at these two particular vehicles, they are for very different customers. From what I can see, one is more of a luxury interior vehicle in terms of the Lariat. One is more of an off-roady type, rugged type vehicle in terms of the Tremor. However, they are priced so close together that it is hard to ignore that if you went to a Ford dealership, why you wouldn't look at them both. So that's why I've done this comparison today. As we go down, again, if you're new here, anything in red is a duplication between the models. So as you can see at the top there, it says auto hold on both vehicles. That basically means it's on both vehicles, so there's no difference. You won't get one vehicle over the other vehicle. Anything in black with a black line is an option. We don't price options. I can price an option, and we just don't do it for these types of exercises. And anything in purple is a price, and the price is based on, again, a 3-year finance agreement. You buy it today, you run it for 3 years. What are you looking to get in terms of the value of that piece of specification, that individual specification, in 3 years' time? By the end, you'll see the total value of the Tremor, and you'll see how much different it is compared to the Lariat, and whether you get your $1,500 worth, whether you get less than $1,500, or you get more than $1,500 and your quid's in and Ford have made a mistake, which they have. So let's run down. There will be a little bit of ranting in this as well, so I do warn you, because whoever put these two vehicles together, they didn't talk to each other at all on how to put a product together. So straight away, you can see you've got a line there for rain sensing wipers on the Lariat, and on the Tremor, it's an option, and I cannot understand why it is an option. So if someone from Ford can get in touch and tell me why you would not offer rain sensing wipers as standard on the more expensive Tremor variant, then please let me know, because I don't know the answer to that. Running down, the difference on the Tremor, you can see it's got hill descent control. No additional value for that. Basically, vehicles at this level, this price point, what they offer, being a 4x4 system on both of these particular variants, you can get 4x2s on the lower trims, but on these two particular, you get 4x4 versions. Hill descent control should be standard on both vehicles. So for it to be standard on a Tremor, it doesn't really get any additional value, because you're not going to go to a forecourt and be like, does that have hill descent control? Yes, it does. Okay, I'm going to get that one over a Lariat. You just wouldn't do that. So it gets 0 value. Trail control with trail 1 pedal drive and trail turn assist, again, is a 0 value. If you need it, you're going to use it. Basically, it's 1 pedal driving up to, I think, 20 miles an hour. On off-road trails, you push the accelerator down, it will maintain a constant speed. The trail turn assist basically locks one of the rear wheels in case you need to make a really significant turn, more so than another F-150. But these are very, very specific situations that you would need to use these applications in. Rock crawling, more than likely. So there's no additional value for just the everyday Tremor owner in order to get that. So there is no additional value. Then we come down, audio again, the same, Bang & Olufsen stereo, the same. 12-inch capacitive touchscreen, it's the same, Sync 4, Ford Pass. Wheels, again, you can skip past this bit if you've seen my other videos and you know how we value wheels. There is no difference in terms of, from a valuation company, based on what we used to do, no difference for the, if they're alloy wheels basically. If they are steel wheels and they go to an alloy wheel, then they definitely get an upgrade and uplift, a value difference. But because you're going from an alloy wheel to an alloy wheel, doesn't matter the size and the style or anything like that, they do get a zero value from a valuation perspective. If you like the look of how the wheels look and you want to pay more because the wheels look better, then that's entirely up to you. But from a value perspective, we don't do that. Run down again, we've got the drivetrain, 4x4, and then you've got on the Tremor a 9.75-inch gear set. So basically this is for towing applications, high torque, high intensity towing applications where you don't want to destroy your axle, destroy your diff. So they put a slightly different gear set in there to make that possible. And that's why I've sort of put a line between the gear set and the axle upgrade together as a value of $500. And obviously if you're towing things all the time, up a hill, off-road, off a boat ramps, whatever it's going to be, you're going to probably pay more than $500 because that's really meaningful to you. But as a general consumer, I've valued it at $500 plus. Electronic rear looking differential, again, sort of ties in with what this Tremor is all about, and I've added a little bit of value. My general rule is if you can't see the difference, then you generally wouldn't value it. So in terms of an electronic lock-in rear differential, there might be a little button on the dashboard that does that. But if you can't physically see it, then we generally don't really price it that way. But I've given a little bit of an uplift of $100. Transmission are the same. You do get the option of a hybrid version on the Lariat, but it is an option, so we don't value it. Coming down, they both get the 5-litre V8 engine. You do get the option of a 5-litre EcoBoost V6 or a full hybrid EcoBoost on the Lariat model. But as standard, they both get the same engine, so there's no difference there. Scroll down to the appearance. Now, I valued basically the whole exterior visual appearance of this is $750 plus. So you can see there you got box side decal or decal, bumper front body color, bumper rear body color, handles and hood in a unique Tremor style. Again, it looks very different to a Lariat, and you're going to pay accordingly on whether you want to get into that vehicle or not based on how it looks. So I put $750 just to be on the safe side. Coming down to the exterior lighting, again, I don't understand why Ford have done this, but they have. On the Lariat, you get fog lights, LED with LED cornering lamps, and on the Tremor, you just get LED fog lamps. I don't understand why they would do that. If you're paying more for a Tremor, and it has better a better exterior visual appearance, and that is the theme that truck is going for, why would you not offer LED with cornering lamps on that trim? Doesn't make sense. Again, on the left-hand side, headlamps, LED projector with dynamic bending. On the Tremor, you just get headlamps with an LED reflector. Again, I don't know why they've done that. And then again, on the left-hand side, you've got tail lamps in LED and tail lamps LED as an available option on the Tremor. Again, why? Ford, please jump into my comments or send me a message, because I do not understand why you would put LED tail lamps, as an option on the Tremor if this is meant to be visually more striking than a Lariat. Again, I missed one there, but headlamps LED projector with dynamic bending. On the Lariat, it's standard, and on the Tremor, it's an option. Why? Coming down to the grille and how it looks, again, we've already discussed that, as my note already says, talking about the exterior. The mirrors, black versus chrome, again, that's all included in the exterior value that I gave. Comfort and convenience, power tailgate. Yep, I think that's a really good convenience option, especially on the Tremor. I've added a value of $100. Again, this is talking in 3 years' time. It just makes it nice and easy for it to not slam down onto the back of the bumper or onto your fingers or hit some young kid on the back of the head, whoever it happens to be. Pro access tailgate, I put a note there. It's just a swing door, so it just makes it easier to be able to load things into the trunk bed. My car has a split tailgate. It's an SUV, and it is quite annoying having the split tailgate bottom piece stop me from putting things into the back of my truck. So I have added extra value there because I do find it a good option to have. Again, we're on the why ranty bit. Exterior lighting, LED mounted spotlights, they are an option on the Tremor. Again, Ford, why? Fuel filler, easy fuel, capless fuel filler, standard on the Lariat. It is an option on the Tremor. Why? I do not understand why they are putting things that are standard on cheaper models and making them an option on the Tremor. Is there a physical reason why you cannot get an easy fuel, capless fuel filler on the Tremor? Again, if you know the answer, jump into the comments and tell me, because I don't understand why they've done that. On the exterior again, we've got bed storage boxes are the same. We've got 4 pickup box tie-down plates. I've added quite a reasonable value for this, $250. Basically, makes it so things don't slip around and you can tie things down in the back of your truck bed. And I assume you're going to use your truck bed and you don't want things slipping around and flying around. So I've added some value there because I think it's quite important that that is a thing. Tailgate LEDs, why? They're options on the Tremor and they're standard on the Lariat. Mirrors, you get heated mirrors on the Tremor. I'm surprised that they're not heated on the Lariat. I'm not sure why they would make that decision. I've added a value of $150. It depends on the climate. Here in Texas, where I live, you don't really need heated mirrors. I don't think I've ever touched a button once. But in the northern states, yeah, absolutely, will more than likely need some heated mirrors. And then I've got the side mirrors, trailer tow-in, power adjustment as 0. Didn't add any value to that because they're just adjustable mirrors. If you look at the top left there, you've got side mirrors auto dimming feature on the driver's side, and it's pointing to an arrow that's an option on the Tremor. Ford, why? Why can I not get auto dimming on the Tremor if they're basically the same mirror? And what else do we have? We've got on the left there, side mirrors power folding. Because they are manually folding on the Tremor. I don't know who put this Tremor spec together at Ford, but it is incorrect however they did it. Because if you've got power folding on the cheaper version of a Ford F-150, why would I pay more to get the manual version on something that's meant to look nicer? Doesn't make sense. So that's got another exclamation mark and why. Power outlets, they're all optional on the Lariat, which is surprising. I'm surprised I don't even have the 400 watt outlet on that one, since some of the smaller, some of the lower trims do. Power outlets, Pro Power onboard 2 kilowatts on the Tremor. Why is it only on the V6? Why? If you know the answer to this in the comments, again, please educate me, because I'm completely uneducated on why they would limit this to the V6 only. I assume there's a battery issue somewhere. But I've added value to that just for the fact that you can power tools and whatever you need to do through a power outlet in the rear trunk bed. $250, probably worth a little bit more depending on the industry you're in, but I've done an average value of $250. Running boards, if you saw my previous F-150 videos on the STX and things like that, $200 basically. Running boards down the side of the vehicle, help you get inside the vehicle. Nice, easy convenience option. My vehicle has them, I use them every single day, and it just makes it nice and easy and to get in and out of the vehicle, not just for me, but for my kids as well. Protection, skid plate, they're all optional on the Lariat. Seems a little bit weird to me, but they do have a skid plate on the Tremor, which makes sense. It is more of an off-roady looking vehicle and capable vehicle, and I've added $100 for that. Wheels and tyres, same as the reason I gave before earlier on about why we don't value things differently for wheels and tyres. Again, we've got the wheels there. Windows, on the right hand side you've got power sliding glass with privacy tint, and on the left you've got fixed glass with privacy tint. Just another nice convenience option, I guess, to make, you can put something potentially through that window, just have it open on a nice day instead of having the window blow your ears out next to your ears. So I added a little bit of value there of $50. Now I'm going to go switch to another tab, because there's quite a lot of information on that one, and we will see some more specification. So we're on comfort and convenience. We've already talked about rain sensing wipers, head-up display, which is right over here. My current car has it. I use it every single time I drive the vehicle, just from a convenience perspective of knowing what the speed limit is. And I do think it's worth a little bit of extra money in the future, even though most cars have heads-up displays these days. Not all of them do, so therefore you can't just value it as zero. So I've added a little bit of value there of $150 Lariats. You come down to interior amenities, power adjustable pedals with memory. On the Tremor, it's just power adjustable pedals. Why, Ford? What are you doing? Why? Just put the memory in. I don't understand. You get upfitter switches, 6 in the overhead console. On the Tremor, $100 I've added there. Again, if you need to plug in ancillaries, you have the option to do that. It makes it nice and easy if you're working off-site or wherever you need to be. Heated steering wheel is standard on the Lariat, and it is optional on the Tremor. And I know they have different steering wheels in terms of one's leather and one's not. But why does the Tremor, the more expensive vehicle, not have a heated steering wheel at this price point? Seems a little bit weird to me. And then a really big one, universal garage door opener on the right hand side there, if you can see where my mouse cursor is. That is an option. So when I see something like that and it says it's an option on the Tremor, that basically says to me that it was never on the models lower than that, or the trims lower than that. That's when I'd contact Ford and ask them what the question is. So we'll see. It just doesn't really work. Why would you not offer a universal garage door opener on every single vehicle as standard? Why is it an option? I don't understand. And then we'll come down to the ambient lighting, standard on the Lariat, and it's an option on the Tremor. Again, why? Ambient lighting these days should just be standard on every model as standard. Makes no sense. Seating. On the right hand side there, we've got the front bucket seats with center flow through center console, unique sport cloth with active orange stitching accents. Doesn't say if it's adjustable. I assume it is adjustable, but it doesn't say it's adjustable. So if you own a Tremor, can you tell me if it's adjustable or not, and if it's a 10-way adjustment or something else, or it does some kind of adjustment other than backwards and forwards? Because it doesn't say that, it just says seats, front bucket seats, whereas on the Lariat it tells you that they're 10-way power driving and multi-adjustable power front passenger seats. So yeah, I don't understand again why they've missed that detail off. Alright, moving on to my next tab. I do apologise for the longevity of the video, but they do make this spec quite long compared to some of the lower specs. We're jumping into packages real quick just so you can actually see the differences. There is no actual difference between, you get more options obviously on the Lariat versus the Tremor, but not as standard. So again, I'm not going to price the FX4 off-road package, even though I know it's worth a reasonable amount of money. So yeah, you can see there, Blue Cruise, it's the same on both vehicles, and then everything else is just an option, so I can't really price anything on there, I'm afraid. And then the final tab, which will have our running total at the very end, we can see where we stand. once it decides to load. We're on power and handling. So drive modes. On the Tremor, the only difference is rock crawl compared to the Lariat. So I don't think there's any additional value for this. I think if your vehicle can already do tow and haul, slippery, deep snow, sand, and mud ruts, rock crawl isn't going to do much. I once drove a Ranger Raptor and it had a Baja mode on it, and I could not tell a single difference from that between that and the modes below it. So if you've got a Tremor again, please let me know what that rock crawl does, if it does anything, if it's just a gimmick, if it's just marketing they've thrown in there, or they wanted to just differentiate and say, look, our vehicle can do rock crawl, but really the mud rut will actually do what it says there. We've already done drivetrain stuff. Steering system. On the left, you've got the power rack and pinion steering. And on the Tremor, you've got a manual rack and pinion steering. Power versus manual. Why? Why are they both not power steering systems? They're both going to be power steering. But one says manual in it. What does manual mean? I guess, looking at it now, on the Lariat, I assume it means you can move your steering wheel up and down, not left and right, but up and down and backwards and forwards to make it easier to get in and out of the vehicle or just to get a nice position. And on the Tremor, you can't do that and it's manual. This is a more expensive vehicle, the Tremor, so why would they not offer that as standard? Coming down to the suspension, the difference here is the shocks. So they've been a little bit ambiguous here, too ambiguous for me. I would actually get the vehicle in, or I would speak with Ford themselves to ask them what the shocks actually are. So again, with my previous experience with a Ranger Raptor, they had Fox shocks on them, and they were absolutely incredible. Highly recommended. Those Ranger Raptors are amazing vehicles. But they don't say anything here. They just say shocks off-road, front and rear, with the Tremor logo on the rear. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'd need to know what the shocks are exactly, whether they're Bilstein or Fox or something else. But I've added value because I found value in them when I drove the off-road shocks on the Ranger Raptor, and I've added a value of $500. Coming down to trailer control, it's the same. Power, again, same 5-litre engine. The exhaust. So on the right hand side there, you've got dual tailpipes on the rear bumper. It's going to get an exhaust anyway, so there's no additional value there, and you get a unique dual outlet. Again, it's just marketing talk, doesn't mean anything. But on the left, you can also option out, on the Lariat, sorry, you can also option out this dual tailpipe under the rear bumper. Ford, if you're listening, that should not be an option. Whatever the tailpipes are that come with the Lariat should be whatever it comes with. You should not be able to option something from a higher spec Tremor like that onto a lower in inverted commas trim level, because it devalues the Tremor exhaust compared to the Lariat exhaust. So if you want to maintain a decent residual value for your Tremor, you don't offer the exhaust on the Lariat, is what I'm saying. Everything else is the same, and basically it comes out that if you buy a Tremor and you spend $1,500-ish to go from a Lariat to a Tremor, Ford actually include $3,300 worth of additional value in 3 years' time on that particular model, which is a mistake from Ford. They should either increase the price of the Tremor, or they should remove some spec from the Tremor and readjust the pricing, because generally you don't make money on spec like that without it being matched somewhat with the list price of the vehicle. So for you to pay $1,500 to get a Tremor and to get that money back plus a little bit extra is really good for the consumer, and it's really bad for Ford. So Ford, I'm afraid to tell you, you made a little bit of a mistake there. But it is what it is, helps out the consumer. We'll scroll down just a little bit so you can see the visual differences. Maybe I didn't stick on it long enough before. But you can see the bumper's different, the front grille, the hood, the alloy wheels, the mirrors, the door handles, all different. Obviously this is an exterior package, but then they don't offer everything exterior-wise that's standard on a Lariat on the Tremor. Doesn't make sense to me. And we'll have a quick look at the interior. Personally, the Lariat is meant to be the nicer interior, and you can tell me if the seats in the Lariat versus a Tremor feel nicer in terms of how they sit and move and all that stuff. But for me, looking at it, I prefer the interior of the Tremor. And I would, if I went to a dealership today and they sat me down, I said, "Okay, sir, what would you, what are you interested in today?" You say, "Oh, I'm looking between a Lariat and a Tremor." It'd be a hard decision not to go with the Tremor based on the spec that they offer and the value that you're going to get back from that in a couple of years' time. Also, in my opinion, it looks better, but that's just a personal preference. I'm not going to devalue it because I think the Tremor looks better than Lariat. That's personal preference, but yeah, my opinion, Ford have made a mistake. They've made mistakes on their specification. They've made mistakes on the way they priced the vehicle from the outset. Which is good for us if we want to go buy one. So go buy a Tremor. Hope you like that video. I'm going to do more on Ford F-150, Mustang, all Ford products, every product you can think of, Porsches, Kias. If you have something you want me to do, let me know in the comments and I will do it for you. I appreciate your time as always, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.